A PC gaming rig involves several essential components, and when it comes to shooters, one of the most important decisions every serious gamer must make is choosing the perfect gaming mouse.
Remaining.
In today's video, we are going to be talking about gaming mice, more specifically, wireless gaming mice. Now, in the past, there has been skepticism regarding the reliability of the connection and input lag when it comes to a wireless gaming mouse versus the traditional wired mouse. I myself actually used a wireless gaming mouse years ago, and I did have issues with it where it would randomly unsync every couple of hours, and I would have to unplug the USB hub and plug it back in just to get it to work again. I actually ended up using it in wired mode, but it still had the same issue, and I would still have to unplug the mouse and plug it back in every couple of hours. Fast forward to now, years later, wireless technology has improved greatly and become reliable to the point where 25% of pro gamers are now using wireless mice. And so I've decided to give them another try. The top 5 brands currently being used by esports pros are Logitech, Zowie, Razer, Final Mouse, and Steelseries. And of those brands, 3 of them currently have wireless options available, and so those are the brands I'm going to be test driving. First up, we have the Logitech G903 Lightspeed, an updated version of the G903 using the same hero sensor technology from the G Pro Wireless. This was the most expensive of the 3 mice, and as you can see, the unboxing process is an experience of luxury. This mouse is 5.1 inches long, 2.6 inches at the widest part of the base, and 2 inches at the narrowest part of the base, and it is 1.6 inches high. The charging cable was nice and floppy, with a very high quality braided sleeve that didn't seem prone to tangling if you were to use it in wired mode. This mouse is ambidextrous, which also means the side buttons can be switched to the right side for lefties. It also comes with an optional 10-gram weight, which I did end up using as I felt it gave the mouse a better balance. The glide was very smooth, and something about the shape of the mouse made it feel extremely precise. As it is an ambidextrous mouse, the body is symmetrical, and it was the only mouse that had a concave curve on the right side. This makes lifting the mouse that much easier, which is extremely important for doing wide turns quickly, especially when using lower sensitivity settings. Yep. The buttons are easy to press with very crisp response. The tactile feedback of the buttons means you know you're going to hit the shot without relying on visual or audio feedback from the game, and can immediately move to safety. The quick, sharp snapback makes for very satisfying feedback on semi-automatic fire as well. The wheel offers great tactile feedback and continues to roll for a couple of extra notches when flicked, which makes for reliable bee-hopping. The mouse wheel can be toggled into a free spinning mode. It can be clicked down, and it can be clicked to the right or to the left. The center of the mouse features 2 buttons for switching to different DPI settings. Overall, I felt like the G903 gave me the most precision, probably due to the concave shape, which allows for a very secure grip as well as very tactile input from your fingertips into the movement of the mouse, and it was the easiest to lift off. Next, we have the Razer DeathAdder Pro version 2. It comes in green conscious packaging, the main reason it's not quite as elegant of an unboxing experience. What's unique about this mouse is the use of optical sensors for its buttons rather than mechanical switches. The DeathAdder is 5 inches long, 2.6 inches wide, and 1.7 inches high. The cable comes folded and takes a while to lose the kinks, as it is a bit stiff. The braided sleeve is loose like a potato sack, and seems kind of redundant. Wireless pairing of the mouse can be done using the dongle or via Bluetooth. The feet of the DeathAdder seems to have the most friction of the three, but the mouse itself is so light it still has a very icy smooth glide. The rubber grips on the side have a very high quality injection molded texture, but the arc of the body kinda cancelled it out and required a bit more effort when lifting the mouse. I noticed that I was more hesitant to take engagements that required lifting the mouse to make big turns. Due to the buttons being optical rather than mechanical, they felt pretty dead in terms of feedback, and the snapback was a bit dull. Clicking the wheel and the DPI toggle felt especially sticky. I found myself relying a little bit more on visual and audio feedback from the game to confirm whether I'd hit my target, and I feel like although I did hit my shots, there was a bit of hesitation after some of these kills. This brings us to the mouse wheel, which was the worst part of the experience for me. I found that moving your middle finger to use the mouse wheel actually requires you to reposition your ring finger on most mice. My ring finger would get a bit snagged on the front corner of the mouse, which was very distracting and felt like I was momentarily letting go of the steering wheel as I was readjusting my hand. After getting those 2 very precise headshot kills, I immediately became annoyed at the mouse while I was jumping into hookah and ended up dying here because of my delayed reaction. God damn it. And look, I don't hate Razer or want to dislike them. I've been rooting for them since day one. I actually had the Razer Boomslang 2000, and I had the Razer Mamba, which was their first wireless mouse, and that was actually the wireless mouse I had those issues with. Unfortunately, that unsyncing problem actually happened once while I was testing it, which is extremely disappointing. It did not happen with either of the other 2 mice I tested. This is actually a really good mouse. It's a bit small for my hand, which is why my finger gets snagged on the corner here, and I would recommend Razer mice, although I would stick with the wired versions for now. Despite my frustrations with the DeathAdder, I did manage to have some fun while making some cool plays in Call of Duty with the sickle in multiplayer.
Drone ready for it. Loader 2-0, good copy, strike away.
Oh my god. And finally, this brings us to the Steelseries Rival 650. Despite being the least expensive mouse of the 3, the Rival 650 stays true to its Danish design origin with its industrial look, efficient packaging, and sturdy, high-end build quality. The Rival 650 is 5.2 inches long, 2.7 inches at the wide part of the base, 2.4 inches at the narrow part of the base, and 1.7 inches high. The cable is very floppy and loses the kinks quickly. It also does not have an unnecessary braided sleeve, which does make it look less high-end. The dongle does take effort and care to attach, so those are pieces that may start to show some wear if one isn't careful. This is a brute of a mouse, being the heaviest of the 3. You can adjust the weight and balance of the mouse by removing the magnetically attached body panels and installing the included metal weights. The Rival 650 also had the smoothest glide of the three mice, perhaps meant to counteract its weight. This mouse provided a lot of control when swinging an angle. The rubber on the sides are quite grippy and make it possible to maintain control for movement as well as liftoff. I never found it difficult to look around quickly despite the weight of the mouse. The buttons are easy to click and give heavy, meaty feedback that you can feel in your bones. Every click feels like you're going to absolutely demolish the target. The buttons are well balanced, and I'm able to use the primary and side buttons seamlessly, as I do use mouse buttons 4 and 5. Clicking the wheel seems to be the safest of the three mice, and it also has a button for switching between DPI settings. The ratcheting wheel works, I don't love it or hate it, and it b-hops just fine. Overall, the Rival 650 was the most comfortable of the three mice, in part due to its shape promoting more of a palm grip, as well as it being the largest of the three mice and perhaps fitting my hand better. I believe it has the shortest battery life according to the specs, but that shouldn't be an issue if you're at least charging it every other night. This mouse also has an extra thumb button on the side near the front. It's actually really difficult to reach because the shape of the hump of the mouse doesn't really promote a hand position that would make that viable. My friend who has the Rival 600, which is the wired version of this mouse, didn't even know that button existed until I asked him about it. Although it doesn't necessarily feel like a scalpel the way the Logitech does, I was able to play quite aggressively and still land my shots.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Oh my god!
Last player standing.
No! All three of these mice are some of the highest end gaming mice on the market. They all have their advantages and disadvantages, which will be different depending on your preferences based on your hand size and shape, your grip style, and the kind of games that you play. Perhaps a hybrid combining the best aspects of each of these would actually end up being the perfect gaming mouse. I hope you guys found this video useful. Let me know what mouse you use and how it's working for you, and if you've used any of these mice before and can offer any further insight, that would be really cool as well. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, find me on the socials, which are links below. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Team wipe, let's get out of here.